Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn, and I am raring to go. I have so many neat things to show you, items you haven't seen before. Okay, so for those of you maybe new joining in, this is what we do. This is the process. So we start off with comments. If anybody wants to send comments, it's real easy to do it. Shawn@gems.com. Huh? Can't get any simpler than that. Shawn@gems.com. And with that same address, feel free to participate in the trivia questions that you're going to hear at the end. We have a winner from last week's trivia, so wait till you see. We give away pretty cool stuff. Also, I'm going to give everyone a tip today on the trivia. We are doing the very popular What Am I? Oh yeah, we're going to do the What Am I? And I have, I think about 7 items I'm going to do. I think, versus I started off with like 3, but I think the more items we have, the better chance it is that, someone, could be randomly anyone, can get enough to be the winner over anyone else. Maybe what I show is your particular specialty or something maybe you just read about and you can identify it easier than others. I make it easy enough that everything I show is something I have featured before or the type of specimen featured before. Maybe not so often because we also use it as a learning tool. So comments, you don't have to participate in trivia, but we love comments, good, bad, or indifferent. And win a good prize. Also, if you want to know and access the How It's Made or How It's Done series, is go to gemshopping.com. Go down to the bottom. A lot of people don't use sitemap, but in this case, yeah, probably need it. Go down to where that says sitemap. Click on sitemap. There'll be 2 columns. On the right-hand column, you just keep scrolling all the way down. Don't give up until it says Ask Shawn. You'll find it. And when you do, it opens up into a whole world of Shawn where you can instantly get a link to this show right next to my lovely picture. Also, that links you to the 30 different episodes of many with over 100,000 hits, some over 150,000 views, which I think is how to drill a gemstone or how to drill a crystal, which has the most. I show you everything of how to restore mill grain. I carve a wax and we cast it through the lost wax method of centrifugal casting and vacuum investing. I also then take the other route for making a piece of jewelry by following the guidelines that the FTC requires for something to be called handmade, including alloying rose gold. So if you want to see everything from flush setting, you name it, anything you would experience going to your hometown goldsmith, whether it's sizing a platinum ring, sizing a gold ring, it's there for you to see me do it. Asif directs it and does the amazing camera work. And it's really a work of art. I am so proud of those episodes. It took us a year to create them. So watch them. You will enjoy them. Okay, so that covers also, it also has the, if there ever is such a thing as rules to this very simplistic game of trivia we play, you can read them there as well. And what is needed from you to be able to collect the item. Usually it's called an address. So let's get going. I have a lot I want to do in this show. So let me read the trivia questions from last week. Now, today we won't have those questions. I'm just letting you know that ahead of time. Still take notes because something that may be from this show may be in a question next week. Never know. Okay, so the questions were, and I won't show it to you right this moment. We'll pull it up later towards the end when we announce the winner. So it was a picture I had taken, and it has to do with, obviously, what we talk about here. Everything from gems, minerals, crystals, chemistry. So it has to do with that. So you're going to find out what that is, and we'll see what everyone else thinks that picture was of. I thought it was got a lot of interesting answers. The second question, so to speak, was, what 2 Arizona mines are known to produce some of the finest gem silica. Now, these would be two mines that obviously I'm not going to use a mine that we haven't mentioned or talk about, because that would be very difficult for you to learn something unless you had read it outside of this show, and I don't do that to you. So it's going to be two of the mines mentioned or items I have sold gem silica from, or two of the most famous mines of all the mines that produce gem silica in Arizona. There's two very distinct mines, so we'll cover that as we go. Then the third question was kind of two questions. It was, what shape, can't read my writing, what shape is a tourmaline crystal looking at it from the end, or the C-axis, the long distance end? So if you turn it up on its end and look down the C-axis of it, what shape does tourmaline look like? And the answer, I'll give you that now, is, of course, a trillion, or a triangle shape. And that becomes really important for one easy reason: identification. It makes it so distinct to see that and know that something that can be the exact same color, like aquamarine, and they can be found together, aquamarine being a beryl, and tourmaline can be in the same color range when you find them in the specimens. And so all you have to see is the end of them. If the end is six-sided in a hexagon form, then you know it is an aquamarine or beryl. And if it is three-sided, you can bet that it'll be a tourmaline. And the other question was, how many sides, or what does it look like down the C-axis of a topaz? Now, I picked those two crystals because they are very prismatic. They form lengthwise. So that's a like we know topaz, and those crystals I showed, they're crystals that grow along the C-axis. It's not always the case with a lot of different minerals. So in the case of topaz, I had showed that perfect imperial topaz one, looking at it from the end. Again, a giveaway, a diamond shape, just like a kind of a diamond shape. And so there's your tell there. So it makes it real easy to determine what something isn't. If you were thinking that, maybe you had a blue topaz or a white topaz versus a goshenite, and again, all you have to do is see the end, see how many sides it has, 4, 6, 3, and it would separate it from being, ready, the clear beryl would be goshenite, right? Clear tourmaline, in other words, colorless, would be acroite. And then, of course, you can also have it confused with quartz and topaz. And it's funny because just the simple knowing of what the crystal looks like from the end. Now, remember, many crystals have different habits, different forms. So if you look at a certain crystal from other particular angles, it can look all kinds of different ways, of different type habits. But when you look at certain ones from down the C-axis, in almost all cases, certain minerals are giveaways, such as the topaz, and again, the tourmaline. And again, to separate a beryl being six-sided from something else of a similar color. Because again, in one specimen, think about it, you could have a six-sided quartz, you could have all clear, all looking the same. You could have the three-sided acroite tourmaline, you can have the four-sided topaz, you can have the six-sided goshenite. So something as simple as just knowing that answer to that question can help a lot in determining what something is, especially if you're doing field identification or neighbor identification, where someone says, "Oh, you like rocks? I found a rock," or I got a rock from my grandmother. Can you tell me what it is? And that's where you're put on the spot. And to know something for certain is a very something that makes you feel really good inside that you have that knowledge. And that's why seldom am I ever caught out. As simple as it gets is this little deal, which I have showed you. Has a battery in it, has a UV black light, it has 30 power and 60 power magnification. It fits in the pocket, it's waterproof, perfect for me. And with the ultraviolet light. So using just that tool, I can determine really a large percent of my challenges as to what am I. Okay, so that is the answer to those questions. I'm just seeing. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and answer the second question. We'll get to the first one at the very end. So the second question is, what two minds? And I think almost all of you did very well with that. And being the answer, inspiration mind and the ray mind. Those are the two minds not only have I offered specimens from, but that we've discussed and featured many different specimens from those two locations. So there are other lesser known mines that have produced gem silica by chance, but are not known for gem silica per se, like the ray mine and the inspiration mine. Okay, we'll hold on to the answer to the end on the picture. Yes, it's about anticipation, right? Okay, let's get going here. All right, here is Miss Arlene. Okay, so if you remember last week, Miss Arlene was, again, by chance, the winner. You have to participate for one thing to start with to be a winner. That usually helps your odds. And since not that many people play, I'm telling you what, Miss Arlene has won 3 times, I think, in the last 6 weeks. Other people win 5 and 6 times a year or more. So I'm just saying. So Miss Arlene says, hey, Shawn, winner, chicken dinner. Wow, once again, I am at a loss for words. You are correct. I think all of life's karma has caught up with me here on your show. I can't thank you enough for not only the knowledge you share weekly, but for the great deals and amazing opportunities that you offer. The chalcopyrite and dolomite, that's what she won. And it was something I was going to sell for real money. And I thought, no. It was an end cut that I told you the story before that Raven claims, the end cuts of different specimens, or if I try to even one up so it stands right and whatnot. But it was far too valuable and nice for me to let her get away with keeping that one. So anyway, I made back with it. So if it has a little bit of scent of oil, then you really know that Shawn was involved with it. And all you have to do, it's fine if you soak it in soapy water. If you use lemon juice, and you can actually, if you want to change the smell from a shop smell of true lapidary large salt oil, has a very distinct aroma to it. And like on goethite specimens, I can't, because I guess the porosity of it absorbs oil, I cannot get rid of the smell on some of those. But on other ones like that one that you have, if you use the lemon soap helps, or you can actually take just physical lemon juice and squeeze it on the specimen. But lemon juice is acidic, so you just test a little area, make sure you're not putting it on calcite or whatnot. Better just to use the lemon soap now that I think about it, so that you don't boil away something, because even low acidic items like vinegar and lemon juice still have a high enough acidity that on carbonates like calcite, it can have an effect. But anyway, just a little tip there on that win. So she goes on to say, Chalcopyrite and dolomite. So excited. I can't wait to rock out on that one for hours. Lights, UV lights. Here I come. You were correct in your assumption of me doing backflips. Had I been 20 years younger, hearing I had won again, I yelled out loud, woohoo, yes, happy dance. My husband said, seriously, you won again? He says, you don't think, he says, don't you think they are going to get sick of you winning all the time? LOL, in a joking manner, of course. I said, I do my due diligence and advertise in return, LOL. And I do. I share your channel all the time. I tell all my rock counting friends and groups / clubs I am in about Gem Shopping Network with Shawn. That's all I ask is, spread the word not only about this show, but about the network in general, because I tell you what, if people are into rare gemstones, I'm not going to have your $20,000 Vietnamese spinel. But right upstairs in so many shows, you can see some of the rarest gems that have ever existed up there. I mean, including and this is items sold, $1 million cashmere sapphires. Yep. So this is where it all starts with the ground up. So it's this show. We start giving you the education, and we take you from here all the way to the highest level and quality of manufacturing by some of the what the other vendors bring in the estate shows and sales. Some of the biggest names through history and even historical pieces. So check that out. Spread the word about that as well. And thank you for sharing this show with all your buddies out there. I knew that you were going to do. I just, luck of the draw, karma. Like I said, maybe so. You had said you hadn't won anything all your life, and then here it all comes at once. Maybe it is a good sign that it's going to be a great beginning of the year for you. Okay. So she goes on to say, trivia. Number 1, I am really not sure. That's the picture. I did study the image for a long time. So why don't we, for a moment, put up the picture, and then we're going to talk about that. And so I'll tell everyone what it is now as we go through the rest of the comments. Okay, look at that picture. I wish I could stand in front of you with a pointer, but I can talk about it. There we go. Okay, so can you go up to that glimmer at the top in the middle? If you back out some there, awesome, that one, that glimmer right there. That's a hint, right? Keep going up with your hand, with your little, there you go, perfect. All right, so everyone sees that. There is a clue. Now, the other clue is look at the shadows that those objects are leaving. All right, so you can see that obviously a light for some sort of lighting, right? But at a particular low angle, creating those long shadows. A long shadow means it was in the morning, and that little light that Asif had circled, that is the sunlight. Okay, so you have sunlight reflecting off one of the crystals. Asif, you're great to be able to do that. One of the crystals, and creating the long shadow across those crystals. Now, with that zoomed in picture, you can actually see where those, and one person mentioned that, and they really did well with this, mentioned that they look like the doves that come out of a sand dollar. And growing up in Sarasota, I know all about those. And that's very true. But when you zoom in, you get to see the arborescent feathering of, ready, here it is, those, perfect, thank you. Those are ice crystals. Ice crystals that formed just the other morning. It was about 24 degrees at my house. And if you can see where you see that the sun glimmering off that, those ice crystals are actually growing on the clear plastic vinyl of the top of her Jeep. So if you look carefully, you can see the small, tiny frost that is the basis on the plastic vinyl. Yep, perfect, awesome, perfect. You can see the little light even reflecting off the tiny microcrystals. This is where it's called generational growth. So you had microcrystals of water vapor that formed on the vinyl. Now, just like they do with diamonds, you start with a seed crystal. And with that, as more moisture, it didn't rain, it had nothing to do with rain, it had to do with dew. If it was in the summertime, it would be dew on the grass or dew on your windshield or your vehicle. In this case, because it was so cold, it formed, instead of dew droplets, ice crystals. A lot of people might call it frost. The frost is basically what is on the vinyl, that little fine microcrystalline growth. That's frost. The larger ones you see, on average, they were up to a half an inch long or a bit longer. Quite large. I had never seen this type of ice crystal growth. And I had to take a picture of it, and I thought, wow, this is going to make a great question. And I have asked many other people, so no worries, no one had gotten it perfectly correct. But we will see who gets the closest. Thank you, Asif. That was amazing. And you did exactly what I wanted to do if I had a pointer live. So when you have an Asif, that's all you need. Okay. So I know a lot of you are saying, wow, yeah, that is it. But you never thought of it to start with. I wouldn't have either. That's what struck me so profoundly was. And one of the hints I could have given was, that they, just like the salt crystals, when you get the rain out in California, which they need right now, on the salt beds, you get this amazing halite growth, this stacked growth of, and I've sold them here in this show, of salt crystalline growth. They're even pink for the same reason that flamingos become pink, because of the type of microbial growth creates the pink in the salt crystals, just as by the flamingos scooping and eating the same microbial growth get their pink coloring. But if it rains, those salt crystals dissolve away and disappear. So rockhounds, of course, get as many of them as they can in that perfect kind of situation. So just as those ice crystals, they will form beautifully like that overnight. But as soon as Mr. Sun comes up, they're gone. And they were gone after the sun came up, I was packing the vehicle, and once the sun hit it, it was really within probably 20 minutes. That beautiful look was over with. So let's go and see how everyone did. All right, Miss Arlene, on number 1, I'm not really sure. I did study the image for a long time. It reminds me of the doves inside of sand dollars when they broke open. I'm going to guess starlight. Huh. Now remember, there's no guessing. You're going to answer starlight. A guess is something you do when you have absolutely no basis of knowledge for your answer. An answer is developed by using the form of knowledge that you do have and coming to the best conclusion based on that retained knowledge. So you answered it, and starlight, let's see how you finish that. I'm going to guess starlight because of the X and cross shapes, although I doubt that's what it is. Well, you may doubt what it is, but again, you never know if you could be correct as well. And when you do theories in physics and chemistry, you start with a theorem and you have to come up with an answer to it. And so you did, and what a grand answer that was indeed. So hats off to you, because that was just as good of an answer you were basing it on actual knowledge. Nothing wrong with that at all. Number 2, I know the Ray and Inspiration Mines are both known for gem silica. Not sure if that's the 2 or not. You need to be more confident in your answers. Those are the 2 that I know of from watching rock hounding channels here on YouTube based in Arizona. They have mentioned several other mines, but those are the two I remember them talking about the most. And you would be correct. Number 3, the tourmaline shape is called trillion and has 3 sides. I'm gathering from the name. And part B, the topaz diamond shape, 4 sides, I think. You don't think you knew. So, quit doubting yourself. Sincerely, Miss Arlene. Miss Gabby in Florida, welcome back to home to us all. And Asif, we are still following you on TV. And I know of another geek purchased from your January 1st show. Keep moving forward, my friend. You are doing a great job. Trivia, she's withdrawing or opting out. Well, when I first saw the What Am I thought, is that a fossil? Never saw one like that. Then I thought, looks like a rendering of an Alfred Hitchcock movie with thousands of crazed seagulls. And Tippi Hedren. Who could forget Tippi Hedren? Love Alfred Hitchcock. Probably my favorite director. But after the Zoom and the conversation you started at the show, beginning of the show, going to say ice crystals on your deck. Wow. Now that is an answer. The 2 mines my Chrysocolla pieces are Inspiration and Ray. Very good. 3 for tourmaline, 4 for topaz. 5, get ready. 6 to go. Those were some great unheated sapphires at lower than low prices you had there, Shawn. Hope someone takes advantage for sure. I know. If they don't this time, I'm keeping them. Like the paparachas. Come on. The geeks and I were discussing a rutilated opal, which is probably hyalite, from Ethiopia. I saw on GSN the other day. Still contemplating. None of us have ever heard of such. Love the rarities. One of my favorite categories to collect. Well, back to contemplation and looking forward to more goodies next week. Stay safe and warm. All best, Miss Gabby. Hyalite. Yeah. Opal. Yeah. Rutile. Opal. Hyalite. Yeah. And no. True hyalite is, for one thing, a name no longer accepted or used, although all of us are going to keep using it probably. It's actually called opal-AN, referring to an amorphous property of it, and the non-precious variety. Most hyalite, but not all, will fluoresce a chartreuse yellowish color due to uranal oxide. In other words, uranium oxides in it, trace amounts, giving off that. It's desirable for a hyalite to have that, but not all hyalite will. There is such a thing as opal with rutile. The only ones I would really contemplate as being of value would be from Tepetate in Mexico or Nova Horizonte in Brazil. Other than that, and it's common for the rutile to look like a drunken spider weave the web because the rutile is in weird circular kind of patterns. Kind of imagine how the botryoidal hyalite might form. So, being that if it's Ethiopian, if there is any type of hydrophane property to it, it would negate any additional value that the rutile might give it. It just does. So like I said, those other 2 origins are the ones that I would consider origins of value, but Ethiopian, not so much. So I would find that out. I'd also find out if it fluoresced. If it fluoresced, that's a positive. And the other thing is, if it happens to have any play of color, then it's not hyalite, and it undoes everything, and would be something I would want to or consider something as rare or collectible, if that helps. Okay. So very close there, Miss Gabby, on the picture. Let's see how anybody else does. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock Family. Wonderful show from the Bat Cave, where the mushrooms grow in abundance. Mushrooms are a good thing. My husband thinks I eat mushrooms with every meal. Pennsylvania grows and supplies about 65% of U.S. mushrooms. I did not know that, but I could see that they could probably find a use for all those coal mines. And wow, they're ready to go. Mushroom growing places. I say always kid about mushrooms because my dad loved to grow anything as his hobby. So he would get these mushroom growing kits, and I've had them before, you know. And you plant the little spores in the wood and whatnot. And you know, he passed away like 2.5 years ago, and I went up to the family home for my birthday the other week, and which would have been also my dad's birthday, and out of the blue, you know, his second wife of 30 years, his widow Karen, she remembered that before he passed away, and this was a little bit ago, but before he passed away, he had worked on this one mushroom growing kit and put it in a dark place, humid place. And she thought, wow, I haven't checked on that in a while. I'm going to go look at it. And she goes, Shawn, there was the most beautiful shiitake mushroom growing on it. And she goes, I looked up recipe for it. She goes, I had the most wonderful, wonderful mushroom steak dinner. And that's what it can actually taste like when you get them like that. Or portobello is kind of the same thing. So I'm a mushroom fan there. Yeah, I can just talk about anything. But very, very cool that you like mushrooms and eat them at every meal. Nothing wrong with that. Congrats to Miss Barber on the chalcopyrite. Miss Barber, I think she meant that that would have been Miss Arlene. On the chalcopyrite on calcite specimens. That is a beauty. My thoughts and good wishes go out to anyone in the wildfire region. May the ordeal end soon so that people can start to rebuild their lives and recover from the trauma. Absolutely. You know, sometimes it's easy for us to not have empathy for the wealthy that might have lost their homes out there. And that's not the point. What everyone lost was memories. And, you know, yeah, you might have lost an intrinsic item worth a lot of value, but I bet it's not, that's not the loss that they're feeling. The loss that they're feeling is maybe whether it be a trophy to an award that they won, or a certificate, or whether it be something as simple as pictures of their children, whoever they may be. Items that many great memories were attached to that can't be recovered. You can replace the item that they were created with, but you cannot replace those memories and of where the item was, of the event, of the, you know, it just can't. So for that, I feel for all and everyone out there, and as well as the financial losses. So that's just something we don't get here in the East. We don't get fires that just roll through the hillsides, and you know, no. But for, you know, the moisture, the topography, the type of plants, everything is different. And when you don't get any rain, which, you know, even we go into these dry periods, but we still get some rain here that keeps everything a lot more moist than if you've ever been out west. That is, wow. But it's funny, I see all those pictures and all I view is, I look at those mountainsides and I see rocks. I just see rocks. That's why I love wintertime. I get to see through the trees to the rock outcroppings. I got it bad. The rock hound indeed. Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts. Oh, wait, let me finish on Miss Cindy. The trivia, Mike, on the first one, mica on dravite tourmaline, a hard one she put. Yes, and I can see exactly where you got mica. If I run across the specimen, I have one that actually the mica comes out of the side of the tourmaline, and it looks feathered like that. It looks like that. So that was a very good answer. Number 2, Ray and Inspiration Mine. Got that one. And number 3, Trillion 3 sides, square diamond on the 4 sides on the topaz. Everyone have a wonderful week ahead. So happy to be talking with all of you again. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania, 22 degrees tonight. Cindy, 22 degrees. I know that sounds cold. We've already hit that. We'll have 18 degrees coming up here, I noticed, in the next few days. So we are right there along with you in the cold weather. Mr. Anthony, hello all. Looks like Georgia got more snow than we did. Absolutely. Where I was supposed to get 3 to 5 inches. Didn't get hardly anything. Here at the network, they actually got more snow in this area than I did, which, so I got a lot of ice after that. And believe it or not, which this is about unheard of, in the shaded areas, there is still snow on the ground down here, which I can't believe. That's how cold it has been. And normally it never lasts that long, but it has. So pretty neat to see that. I scored the fire agate. Well done. I know, Mr. Anthony, you have been collecting some of those fire agates. So smart on you, mate. Man, I was drooling over the faceted andradite. I was wondering. I just couldn't swing it this week. Hopefully nobody will scoop it up and I can try during the week. Yes, I am selfish when it comes to collecting beautiful garnets. I don't blame you. Garnets, of course, is the other collection I have because it's my birthstone. So I collected all the different garnets, and my other one was made in the USA. Specimens from the United States. So you're going to see all those throughout my collection. I love the garnet family just because they don't synthesize them. They are very difficult, if not impossible, really, to treat. And so they are a fantastic group. And it covers the rainbow of colors and great hardness, etc. Number 1 on the trivia. Got me on this one. I will say silver crystals. That was a wonderful, wonderful answer. You know what? Silver crystals can look very much like that with that arborescent feathering. So, fantastic answer, Mr. Anthony. Number 2, Ray Mine and Inspiration Mine. Number 3, Tourmaline Trigonal Crystal System. Right on. And 3-sided. And Topaz Orthorhombic Crystal System with 4-sided. So getting the crystal systems of them correct. Topaz is a little funny though, depending on, I don't want to go there, depending on the percentage of fluorine versus the OH, the hydroxide molecule, depending on those two, it can actually change its, it actually can polymorph itself, change its crystal system based on chemical content, but you don't need to know that. I won't ask anyone on that. Okay, Miss Barbara says, hi, Professor Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Couldn't resist the best faceted coast you've ever offered yet. Sorry, Mr. Anthony. It looks like Miss Barbara got that stone. I was wondering because that is not only one of the, I think, the finest that I have, but it was also the largest, if not, that I have left, I believe, at over 2 carat. And threw in the twinned pink Damberite crystal to keep it company. Good choice. Looking forward to video coverage of events around the Tucson show later this month and early next. Last year, they featured pink calcite from Balmont, New York, and this January fabulous 14-centimeter crystal is on the cover of Mineralogical Record. The main article is about the Balmont zinc mine, and the free supplements is all pseudomorphs. Lots of good reading and drool-worthy pictures for these polar vortex days indoors, indeed. As to trivia, what is it? Snowflake crystals on a butterfly wing. Now that is an answer. You can just see the scales and pattern. I'm looking at, we have another picture of it up here, and I am looking at that. That is an answer I would not have come up with, but I can see that that could be an answer. I remember taking pictures of the bats in one of the mine shafts I was in, and it was just right up next to Raven's head, and on its back, these were little tiny bats, was dew. Beautiful little droplets of dew with the light creating irises that came out of it. It was just an amazing, amazing sight. So I could see why not crystals on a butterfly wing. Sadly, there's no de-icing in the insect world. No, there is not. The Ray and Raleigh mines provide Arizona gem silica. Tourmaline down the C-axis looks like a trillion, 3 sides, and Topaz looks like a diamond, 4 sides. Excellent answers on that. And the Raleigh mine does produce gem silica. It's just not one in Arizona that is known to produce any large quantities of it. So it's not even listed as one of the minerals, so to speak, to be found there, even though, yes, it has, by association, been found there. But not the one we were looking for this time, but a great answer nonetheless. Glad you guys finally cracked showing UV. It's difficult on the phone as well. We geeks try it all the time. Nowhere near vivid reality, but you get to see what is actually happening. Yeah. When you impress Chuck, we know it's even better than what we're viewing. Great timing on me saying that. Chuck just walked in the door. I think you can sit, Chuck, without getting in the shot. You're right. You're right. I do like when Chuck adds his oohs and ahs because he's kind of new to shooting this type of photography. So it's kind of neat to see and get that type of reaction. Keep warm all. So happy to have destination viewing back on my Mondays afternoon. That's a great word for it. Destination viewing. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Upon further reading, I find I must correct the measurement of the pink calcite on the mineral record cover from a mere 14 centimeters to a whopping 28 centimeters. I had glanced at the dimensions of a similar but smaller sample. Either one is dang pretty gang material from the Empire State No. 4 mine. Indeed. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Now we have Miss Penny. Miss Penny, hello, Shawn, the very lovely Raven, amazing GSN crew, and fellow rockhounds. I hope this finds everyone well. Trivia. I did see a reflection and what looks like an octagonal base, but that's where my knowledge ends. I'm sure I'll kick myself when you give us the answer. My first instinct was to say silver, so I'll go with that. So that's two of you that said silver. Great, great answer, and I can absolutely see how you got there. The ray and inspiration mines, well done. Tourmaline 3-sided, trillium with rounded corners, topaz 4-sided like a parallelogram or diamond shape. To Miss Jan and everybody else in California, I pray and hope that the fires will be brought under control quickly so that people can start rebuilding their lives after this tragedy. Miss Arlene, congratulations on your winning streak and definitely some trivia envy with that chalcopyrite specimen. Loved those amethyst spheres and the rhodonite galena specimen. Good choice. Good choice there, Miss Penny. You have great taste on the good stuff. Short and sweet this week. Have a wonderful week and hope to see you next week. Penny and Mahalis in Quebec. P.S. Mahalis has gotten into the habit of checking on Mondays to see if there's a new podcast. And when he sees it, he proudly informs me. That's a yay. I put a yay as a note next to that. Tell Mahalis. Now, also, Miss Penny, I don't know the Greek verbiage. I know at one time you told me Mahali is the name used, I think, when you're referring to him in some tense. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name right. So if I am saying Mahalis at the correct time, like when I say his name or address him, but if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me on my, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's all Greek to me. I know, bad one. But do help me out because I don't want to mispronounce that. Wonderful young man you have that is just classic to me. GQ, good-looking, handsome young man that is, I'm sure you are very fortunate and love every moment of spending time with him, as you did and took him on vacation. How cool is that? Okay, so let's see. Is that everybody? That is everybody. So you already saw the picture. Now all I have to do is announce the winner since, okay. Miss Gabby opted out. By far, she would have won by saying that there were ice crystals on the deck. Well, ice crystals. Oh, Chuck, you see that picture? You remember from last week? Mm-hmm. So I didn't tell you what they were, did I, last week? Mm-hmm. No. So you see them up there. They are ice crystals that formed on the clear vinyl plastic on Kim's Jeep, on Raven's Jeep. Yeah. So that morning, and they're about a ½ inch long. You can see the shadows even, that they're so large and tall that the sun left a shadow. So, and when you zoom in, you get all the feathering and the arborescence. So it was just a really neat picture. And so Miss Gabby came the closest by saying ice crystals, because ice crystals wherever you said they were, who would ever know that they were in plastic vinyl? So ice crystals is definitely the answer I was looking for. So you would have gotten it, but she opted out. That leaves us to put all the other names and pick a line, a number with a name. And this week, all right, I just got it, and that would be. Okay, so let me put the item up. I took it down. Let me put the item up, and I'll let Chuck get focused in on it, because this week the winner is Anthony. Anthony is the winner. And you know, we talk about the magic of the show. What did he, let me just go back here for a minute. I think he referenced, I was drooling over the fasted androdite. I just couldn't swing it this week. Hopefully nobody will scoop it up. I'm going to try during the next week. Yes, I am selfish when it comes to collecting beautiful garnets. And what does he win? Check it out. This is a stunning, I decided to actually give this away. And I don't know why. I think it was really in celebration of my birthday, which is, of course, my birthstone is garnet. This is from the Shawn mine. Check this out. These are some of the deepest, reddest spessartine garnets out of the whole bunch. And what makes it unusual is you have a mica matrix. I think the rest is pretty much a decomposed or a well-weathered feldspar. But look at all the other spessartines that are all throughout this piece. Look at all these, and including, look at all these microcrystals. Then look at this, look at these large ones. So you could do specimen preparation and peel back, so to speak, some of this soft material, because you can look at my tweezers. You can see me just removing it, yeah, with my tweezers. So this would be one that you could easily peel back. You could look at that. You see the blades right there? That is actually white muscovite mica. But look at those crystals. And let me do one more thing here, because the red spessartine is actually difficult to find. So let me just see if I can add some light. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Look into those jewels. Beautiful. So you can see them all throughout. And this, the magic of the show, has this going to the man that collects garnets. How cool is that? All right, let me tuck that away safely, and we'll be right back with the start of the show. All right. I said as time was going to go on, we would be getting to the unusual, the unique, the old pieces that have been really special to me. This is one of them. This particular, because I've always loved crocodile. It's a lead chromic oxide, however you want to describe it. It has lead and chrome in it. And you can see how old the Perky box is. It actually has an original label. I got this in the 70s, remember. So I started collecting when I was in 1972, 73. So I remember getting this as a teenager and hanging on to it. I'm going to show you something I normally wouldn't, but in this case, it doesn't matter. Things are worth what they're worth. And when you're talking about something that's 50 years old, oh, I actually have the year. I wrote on there, 1976. I was 14, 15 years old and collecting. But it was, now $15, I got paid working at the rock shop at the time, $1.75 an hour. So there was basically an entire day's wage to get this particular specimen. And boy, did I ever make the right decision. Let me show you something. This is a crocoite. This specimen has some, for one thing, it's solid. There's no repairs. It has been hot glued into the bottom down here. Now, you know that can be removed. So the hot glue, you can remove it. But they did it in an aesthetic pleasing way. There's no repairs on this. There's something important that you need to see. For one, the luster. In other words, the metallic type luster. Because remember, this has lead and chrome. That's it, and oxygen. How can lead and chrome, both white metals, be in this and it be so red? Now, let's catch the light on this, because there's something that is going to be relevant. It's called etching. If you look at the very end, the termination of this crystal, you're going to see etching on it, but not just regular etching. I need to catch the light on this. So here it is. There you go. You can see what looks like a hole. And basically it is. It is an opening that creates the end hollow. Now, that all is relevant. So I am just going to leave this box here for a moment, and you can see where, let me catch the beautiful colors on that, like that. So let me show you something that is this is why I tell you what, I often and don't go and look up pricing on other items, but something like this, I has not seen anything offered in a long time. So I thought I would just verify and do a little research. Well, at a very well-known mineral dealer, probably in a retail sense, probably the top mineral dealer maybe in the country, the first item he had come up, and those of you in the know will spot who this is. The first item, when I looked up under crocoite, okay, so this is just on my phone, so excuse any imperfections in the picture. And what do I have? I have the exact specimen from the Zeehan district, the Adelaide mine. There is no other mine. You saw on the writing, it said Dundas. Dundas, Tasmania. There is no other, there you have it. Dundas, the Zeehan district, West Coast, Tasmania, Australia. Small cabinet. Now, these are in millimeters, 55 millimeters. You can see the millimeters of the one I have is 32. So 55 millimeters is just over 2 inches. There's 25.4 millimeters to an inch. $2,400. Now, that is not, what I want to actually show you is information because of who this is. His information is extremely accurate and very informative. So you can see there or take a screenshot. You'll have time to read this because you can pause it. But here's the important thing. Note the tip has an ingrown hollow section. It is essentially hollow near the tip due to skeletal growth patterns in which the exterior of the crystal grew faster than the interior. An old classic, a stunning color, and a gorgeous specimen. The last line, one repair, about 1 centimeter from the tip. Coming back up here, 1980s or previously, had some exceptional elongated translucent crystals with a metallic luster, as you see here. This is an extremely rare quality to find today. The location is not producing anything of this magnitude in a few attempts at modern remaining projects. Crocoite, $2,400 with the same angled termination and with the same type of etching. Now, if you look right here, we don't even have to zoom in anymore. Right there, you can see the repair. Now, a repair, no matter how much you try to make it something less important than it is, it's still a repair. Meaning the crystal had broken. Thank you, sir. Let's go back to the real deal. The crystal had broken there and it has been repaired. It has been glued. That is acceptable in fine specimens. And believe me, if they didn't have repairs, you would not have any, hardly, of the smoky quartz and amazonite clusters that have to all be taken apart just about individually, and they take pictures and then reassemble those entire big clusters because they just don't come out in one. It was extremely rare. Now, as in the crocoites, when you see, mostly you get this tangled hair mess of shorter crystals. When you see individual crystals being offered for sale, which I saw, all of them were less than 12 millimeters long. A crystal this long, as you just read, is extremely rare and dates back to a period of time when they were available. And since then, they have not any more like that come out. In other words, single elongated crystals with that metallic luster and the etching in the termination. That everything geologically has to happen just right for that to occur in a growth pattern. These growth patterns often happen in geologic time at the same time. In other words, when it occurred to that one crystal in that particular set of years, it was occurring to this crystal. This crystal was probably mined within a matter of only a couple few years of that other one. Of course, going by the length, the color, the metallic luster, the etching, etc. This is a true rarity. And now, when it was exactly mine, I'm not sure. But I know when I obtained it in 1976. That's how long. So this has been a oldie but a goodie. And I remember when I got it then, it had an old looking label, and I've had it and enjoyed it. It's time to offer this up. And the old box, the original label that I got and paid $15. Now remember, $15 then, like I said, was an entire day's wage. So you equate that now to a day's wage, and you're talking about something much, much, much more valuable. And this piece has not been repaired. It is a, let me show you against my finger just how long that is. So that is an exceptional size in a very rare crystal. Crocolite to me is one of the most attractive specimens there are because of the coloring. That coloring, there's just nothing else quite like it. So you saw the other. Yes, it was a little bit longer. Nothing else about it was special, except if you took away the centimeter where it was repaired, that takes it from 55 millimeters down to about 45 millimeters, if you wanted to look at it that way. So $2,400, that could be right in the, obviously, you know, he doesn't price items to where they don't sell. He's an extremely well-known dealer, and doesn't say make offer. So the value is what the value is, and but that's not going to be the case on this one, even though I would love to, I think it would be very fair to ask half of that amount. And this one, I could easily see being valued at $1,200. $1,200. It's one of those, okay, go find another one. Go find another unbroken crystal from that time period with etching in the termination, the metallic luster, and the proof through the label of exactly the history of it as well. So the provenance of the piece. It has everything that you would want in a nice high-end collector specimen. Maybe you upgrade the box, maybe not. I kind of like it the way it is. I am offering this, though, at an exceptional opportunity of only $388. $388, and you can have an original etched Tasmanian crocolite from a time period where there is nothing else coming out anything like that. And wow, that's the only one. There's not going to be another one. I'm not going to come up or show up with another one. This was a very, look at that etching, old time specimen, and I loved it then. Due to the color, I love it now. It's also been called red lead and gone by other names, but yeah, what a beauty. $388. Now, I have something else that, yeah, you guys are just going to love these items as time goes on. Item 1240,925. 1240,925. And they're items, I have no idea how to price these things. They're from my history. They're from decades. Look at this, 1976. What nerd, when he is 15 years old, 14 years old, buys a crocoite specimen, spends a day's wages, and gets that? Tell me that you don't have to be a nerd from the get-go to even begin to think about spending your money on that. But that's where I'm at. I didn't remove the label, and I had forgot the year I put on there that I bought that. I have that on other pieces as well, because I knew this was a keeper. I just didn't think I was going to keep it for, you know what? It's almost 50 years, just shy of 50 years. Wow, makes me feel old. All right, next item, which everyone is going to love and fight over this one. Tell me where you're going to find this. Where are you going to find another one of this? You say, oh, that is just a rhodochrosite, banded rhodochrosite in just a common form that you find it in. Really? Is it? Is it just a banded rhodochrosite? Or if we look a little closer, is that not pyrite? Bands of pyrite. Now I say pyrite, if it's gold, I want it back, because the gold is actually found associated right below this deposit in the Capelitas mining area. This is the Inca rose. This is the rhodochrosite that has made Argentina put it on the map for this type of material. And it's its national stone. Rhodochrosite being a manganese carbonate. But look at the banding of pyrite around this. Look at the banding of the pyrite. And it's not just one band. It's a band now separated. Now we had a question about this some time ago, and some of the darker material that you see like that will be siderite. In this particular deposit, there is a lot of different metallic ore bodies in the Capelitas mining area. And obviously, if you have iron, right? So pyrite is just an iron sulfide, iron and sulfur, right? Well, siderite is an iron carbonate, FeCO3. So if you have a CO3, manganese carbonate here, you have iron from the pyrite here, it is very conceivable and most likely that that is siderite, an iron carbonate. They formed and created that, and all these can be deposited at ambient temperature. They don't need high pressure, they don't need high temperatures to do that. Then calcite. Then you probably have a layer of calcite in here somewhere, or with the rhodochrosite. This is extremely attractive. Now, the botryoidal formation here also showing you what is right underneath the skin sometimes. Look at that calcite layer right there. How cool is that? This self-displays beautifully, either like that or like that, or like that. It doesn't matter which way. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. From the jagged edge pattern here to, look at the pyrite. That is why this is a special piece, because you could find lots of these rhodochrosite nodules, but go find a nodule with pyrite banding, calcite, potentially siderite. Oh, I was going to say this, and I have a super thin diamond salt, but if I had really the chutzpah, I would love to take a slice off of this, a couple slices, and have a slice of this. But you know what has actually happened to me before? It has happened with different, with a rhyolite banded piece. The inner part, like let's say in this case, the rhodochrosite, when I cut it thin, would literally pop out. In other words, each band would separate from the others. Now, these look molecularly kind of bonded, so I'm not sure if that would actually be the case, but that'd be kind of cool if it did it neatly, or it all just falls apart and you wish you would have never touched it. That's why, most likely, I would come to the decision to leave well enough alone, which is simply gorgeous. With a natural polish, not one of Shawn's cheesy fake polishes on it. So price on this one, it's one of those deals that I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know where to find another one. I don't know how to price this one. So I'm just going to make it affordable. How's that? You know, I was actually thinking, because Andrew, my wire wrapper, contacted me, and he's looking for work. He's going back to school, and it just dawned on me that would make a beautiful wire wrapped piece. Just that. Or you could add a little pizzazz to it, but that would actually show up really nicely as a wire wrap piece. Especially, look at that. So you can see the pyrite from that angle very well. All right, price on this. One of a kind jewel, $148. And that would be a big ol' only $148. I am never going to offer it less than that. And I doubt if I'll offer it after, if it doesn't sell after this time. So that's what I'm saying. We're getting to items that are near and dear to my heart. And that, as you can see, is certainly one of them. Wait till we get to some of these others. Okay, here. Let's just keep going with the good stuff. Here, how about this? Look at this. What does it mean when you got 2 stars at the top of a bag, huh? It's a, you know, we used to do that, my mom, of course, with 6 kids on Christmas morning, and all these presents would be out, and she'd write notes on every one of them. It was so sweet. And she called them the double bowers. The presents that she would put 2 bows on. And if you had a triple bower, 3 bows, it was one of your really bigger presents. But a double bower was enough to tell you that it was something really special or something you really wanted, you know. And I'm just going to tell you something here that is the truth. My mom and dad, well, I'm sure there's not any little ones listening. So my mom and dad, growing up in Sarasota, feigned Santa Claus's reality, so much so that I believed in Santa Claus until I was, I don't want to admit it, but until I was after 12 years old. After 12 years old, meaning I was 13, probably. Which I know sounds incredulous, but my mom, with the older brothers in cahoots, as each one got old enough to know, she had the older brothers take huge, they were 2x6s. They were 16 feet long, and she had them create sleigh marks in the grass in Florida. Sleigh marks from the sleigh, and back and forth. Then she did a cutout of a little elf print, like what little would have been little elf feet, and she snow sprayed and created a walking pattern of all these little elves away from. Then, when we started doubting her, she fooled us all. 6 of us, kids, listening to my dad read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." And she was right in the edge of the Christmas, because we started to say, when, you know, because when the sleigh bell started to ring towards the end of the story, that's when we knew Santa was coming. We all ran off to go to bed. We started getting suspicious because she wasn't around when we heard the sleigh bells. Well, my mother, very, very clever, she rigged a string up all the way to where the sleigh bells were like a good 40 feet away from where we were. And she rigged a string all the way back to where she could be seen. And around the edge of the kitchen door, she pulled on this little string and made the sleigh bells ring. When you have someone going through all that, you're going to believe in Santa Claus until you're 21. I mean, I'm telling you what, it was, looking back, one of the most endearing, loving things to have and believe in that fantasy world until an embarrassing age, you know, and you're denying it to your friends who are trying to shoot down this wonderful, innocent spirit that you have. And it didn't happen. My parents were amazing at the length that they went to. And in Florida, it worked. I love them dearly for having done that and having let me believe in something like that for so long. So, all right, I've got another great story, but that'll be for another day. It's about my son and his beliefs. Okay, let me show you. A double star. So this is double star. What does a double star get you? Kind of like a double bower, except in this case, in my world, it is, check this out, it is a gold in quartz and silver. Sorry about this. Awesome. Item 124-2025. 124-2025. Look at that. Now, I had to actually cut this out special so it wouldn't smush the quartz. And so you can see the silver nugget. Now, the silver nugget is from, I couldn't get all this information in there, so you just have to remember it or write it down, from Halton County, the big well-known county in the Keweenaw Peninsula that actually produced nuggets. Now, they also had something that was called a hybrid nugget, which was nuggets that were half copper or partially copper and partially silver. Talk about unique and different. Now, this one, just a classic silver nugget from, now silver nuggets, believe it or not, are quite rare across the entire world. Silver as something that shows up in your pan or as alluvial nuggets that look like that are not common at all. Gold, yes. Silver, no. And that's kind of odd. Now, let me show you. So I created this so it wouldn't do any damage. This is another one, and this is the largest one to date that I have had, the 16-to-1 mine. The 16-to-1 mine is still being mined. It was first discovered around in the early 1900s, like 1906, where they started mining it. And some parts, they would hit a vein. One was a $2 million vein in 2 weeks of pulling out gold. Nothing but valuable, heavily concentrated gold in quartz. And then other times they would not find anything for a long time. Then again, they would hit another drift, another strike. Today, to this day, it is mined for strictly only gold in quartz for jewelry purposes. I've actually worked with the representatives of the mine, and I've had here, from right here at Gem Shopping, I have showed $20,000 and $30,000 4 and 5, 6-inch long pieces of quartz just riddled with gold. And I've also had 4 and 5 ounce gold nuggets, not from that particular mine, but from Alaskan mine. So I've had big gold before. I love gold. I have am in the process of mining it out of my backyard. I'm right in the gold belt of Georgia. So everything being possible, yep, I found gold. Now, basically what's holding the quartz together is the gold. And that's a little goop, so that's not glue. You see that? I do not like goop, but someone put some goop on there to display it in a perky box or somewhere, but that can just be taken with a toothpick and gotten out. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. Now, this is California gold, so it's going to be a high percent. In other words, you're talking about probably 22 karat or so. In the world of carat, by way of percent, you're talking about 90 to 95%. Versus Alaskan gold. Alaskan gold can look a lot more pink. There's a lot more copper to it. A lot of times it runs around 80% pure. Nothing shabby with that. That's probably around, 18 karat is 0.750 or 75% gold. So, you're talking 19, 20 karat. Georgia gold to this day is still the highest percent concentration of gold, at running often at 96, 97, 98% pure gold. And that's why you get a rich golden color. Same thing with this particular mine. It has a very rich yellow content to it. Now, this was another one, if you can see in my hand just how large that is, that would make a wonderful wire wrapped piece. Look at that. Look at how big that is. Now, that is a showy piece of gold. Aesthetically, it's gorgeous. Now, this is also one, the only way they get those amazing crystallized gold specimens that you see is using a very dangerous acid called hydrofluoric acid. As much as I love chemistry and acids and things that go boom or dissolve, other things, I will not touch hydrofluoric acid. It is an acid that you get one drop on you and it will not quit burning through you no matter what you do. Kind of like, what was it, Alien or Predator? One of those? Alien. It was Alien? Okay, yeah, I remember Alien. Don't forget it. How it just kept going right through the ship. So that's what I think of when I think of hydrofluoric acid. That movie always comes to mind in that particular event and scene. Now, That is the only thing that'll dissolve quartz and how you remove the quartz away. So when I get a specimen like this, and I can tell it has had no hydrofluoric acid used on it, it's completely natural, and the only thing holding, see these individual, let me get my pointer. See these individual pieces like this piece right here? You know what's holding it? That gold, it is wired together by its own gold. Same thing with these others. I think that is so cool. Plus it also shows you, and I've shown you before in other specimens, how it is the crevices and openings in quartz that allow gold to be force its way into those openings. And if there's enough room, it'll actually crystallize along and in those veins. And why the miners would often look for quartz is because it was the ore bodies, because gold often followed metallic ores of other types as well. So you can see certain patterns, like you can see this little vein running through here. You can see other patterns. This is an exceptional piece. Look at how the gold runs back into the quartz. So by way of weight, gold is 19 times heavier than water. And that's why gold will settle to the bottom of a pan, a gold pan, so easily, because of the specific gravity, even over quartz. So even though there maybe look like a lot of quartz here, there's going to be more weight in the actual gold here than there is quartz. You can just feel it versus what you would think it should weigh. This, aesthetically, is one of the most attractive pieces of gold and quartz I have seen. And it has to do with the way the quartz is kind of in these individual chunks. I think makes it really unique and attractive. Stunning color to the gold. That's the gold. Here is actually, believe it or not, something more rare, and that's a silver nugget. Silver, not so rare, but silver nugget, yeah. And you can see that this had a alluvial nature to it. In other words, water was involved. You can see by way of the wear to it that this might have been a bigger piece. Or also what happened up in Keweenaw, same thing that happened to the copper nuggets. You had glaciation, the glaciers just coming over these deposits, crushing them, smooshing them, so to speak, and then pushing them along. You can often sometimes see the grind marks in a particular specimen. So to get a silver nugget from a well-known deposit, this is part of my Made in the USA collection. The 16-to-1 mine from California, still producing high-end quality gold and quartz. And then a silver nugget. Combination of the two together. Basically, I'm giving you the silver nugget as part of the deal because I'm offering both of these, and this is, I think, the last of the, and it is definitely the largest gold specimen I have, and I will probably, it would be great, you know, wouldn't it be neat to make those two together in some type of wire wrap piece to you know, gather up the two things that that helped settle the West was the discovery of gold in Sutter's Mill in 1848/49. Can't forget the San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers. But reality had it in 48, 49, so we'll count both years, just like 1828 was the year for the discovery of the metal and the first gold rush in the United States to Georgia, and only 20 years prior. The miners left gold behind here in Georgia out of greed because most miners work for the mine owner. They didn't want that. They wanted to own their own claim on a creek. So they all picked up and headed west, leaving a lot of gold behind. And they got out there, and you know who made the most money? Names you will recognize to this day. Levi of Levi Strauss. That guy, everybody needed a pair of blue jeans. The history and the wealth behind that name started with the gold rush out west. Coffee. Oh, yes. Your famous coffee families. Folgers might be the one. The people that could supply the coffee. The people that supplied the picks, the axes, the shovels, The hardware men, those are the ones that the wealth was guaranteed. The poor gold miners that just worked for someone else here in the East went out there and ended up working for someone else out there as well. Many hopes were dashed. But also there were some wonderful, wonderful stories. One last one, it has to do with Georgia, because there was such a thing as a land lottery. Georgia was considered very, remember you had the Cherokee Nation, so Georgia was considered a very outlaw kind of rugged, unsettled state. So to settle it, they did a land lottery, and they gave you 40 acres and a mule. That is a fact. So when you hear that saying, that is a true thing. An old lady Creighton, who lives in the county I do, the largest and biggest gold producing mine happened to be on old lady Creighton's 40 acres, and it produced gold until 1913, when the mine shaft that went underneath the Etowah River, the river finally broke through, flooded the mine. Even then, it was producing millions of dollars of gold, and still would be. That gold is still down there if they could only drain the Etowah River. But I'm sure she had no shortage of suitors after that, after her 40 acres and a mill and getting the Creighton gold mine. Yep, the Creighton gold mine. So amongst us gold lovers, look it up, and you will find that she was a very lucky lady. That was well, they called it a land lottery, and it was, and she hit the winning number. Okay, so the winning number on these two is exactly that, a amazing opportunity. I am offering basically the silver specimen for free, the gold one, stunning, the largest one and the only one I have left, and I'm offering it for only the whole deal that you see there, only $478. $478, and that will get you a little bit of history and a lot of history. A lot of history going back with the silver nugget, because that's a very old nugget from where it came from. And the 16-to-1 mine has a complete and well-known history, still producing gold to this day. And that is a piece of it that I have had for a long time. So grab it, enjoy it. Now, next, this is something, again, item 1200-824. 1200-824. This is one of the most beautiful specimens in general, I think, because it goes by this, the color. To me, the color. Just like the crocoite, this color is one of the most desired colors in the mineral community. Dioptase. Dioptase is a copper silicate. So remember your copper carbonate, because all your metals usually have both a carbonate and a silicate. So the carbonate being malachite, the silicate, most commonly dioptase that you see here. This particular dioptase has what I call pizzazz. It has beyond aesthetics. Look at this. Look at the bridge. It's things like that. See that? It is extras like that that make all the difference in the world, not only in valuation, but in aesthetic desirability. Isn't that neat? Look at this. Now, if there's something extra you see, you're right. Duftite. This is the type locality for a mineral called duftite. Now, a type locality means it is the locality where the mineral was first discovered. And all these lighter green crystals that you see associated is duftite. Duftite. And this is from the Sumed mine, one of the world's most famous mines, and which has been closed. And this is a all the specimens from Sumed are, when you look at the auctions, some of the largest prices brought are any specimen from the Sumed mine. If I put this up in auction, this particular specimen, the price would run up so much higher than what I'm going to offer this for, that it floors me. And people pay it. They're the ones running up the auction. Okay, look out for the goop. Sorry about that, but that's, you can see that's just goop. Duftite. Look at all the lighter green. It almost outlines the dioptase. That is a extra bonus. So you can see, I think this side makes a really enjoyable side. And as we come away from it, you can actually look at this and see all kinds of critters in it. It looks like all kinds of different animals. Everything. I saw a sea turtle. I saw a buffalo. I said, so, yeah, a dinosaur. Yep. You got the dinosaur. I did too. I just saw the dinosaur. Look at that. And so that's part of the fun. That's part of enjoying your purchase, is to look at it in every different imaginable way. Now, there's an extra bonus, cuprite. You have cuprite, which is another copper mineral, a copper oxide. And look at that, actually. If that's a cuprite crystal, I want this back. But this is what cuprite can look like, actually. Yeah, this is another one that I'm offering at a way too low of a price. So whoever had it had the goop stuck there. So I guess that was the way they displayed it. But I think it's more attractive, even if you have to, yeah, I think put it right on there. I think you want to show that bridge off. And any number of ways. This almost looks like a crystal sticking out up here. And you know what? It very well might be part of one. Have fun with this. This is dioptase. I love dioptase. Here's the classic one you look for, crystal, right there. There's that triangular reflection that will tell you often it's dioptase if it's green and it has that beautiful, beautiful piece. And dioptase, because it is so attractive, it is not an inexpensive mineral, but what I'm offering this for is inexpensive. Only $128. Only $128 on that. That is a beauty, especially with the duftite. Yep. Especially with the duftite. Okay, let me keep going here. Got lots to do. Look at this. You're gonna, can't believe it. Okay, item 1241, 223. 1241, 223. Now, many years ago, I made a wise purchase. Now, it's only, pardon? Number? 1241, 225? Do you have it? So, yeah? Okay, you do not. All right. Here is the lowdown on it. Yep, 1241, 225. 1241, 225, I think. You got it? Yeah, there you go. You got it. Okay, awesome. Now, we shall remove this, and now that Asif has given away my big speech I was going to give. No. Okay, in my hand, many years ago, I made a very wise purchase, but it's only a wise purchase if you never sell it, so that the value continues to grow and grow. And it has, because these specimens now go for a small fortune. This is the Malawi agarine and orthoclase. Now, agarine, now, I actually looked up pronunciation of agarine, okay? Now, oh my goodness. You know, if you botch a name pronouncing it in the mineral world, don't worry about it, because they're pronounced all different ways. One of them was agarine. It was, I don't know, it was so far away from what the real pronunciation was. So agarine got its name from the Norse god Aegir. And it was because it was found originally near the shore, I believe, in Norway. And that's how it got its name. I know, some things a funny way, but this agarine you'll find associated with a lot of other different minerals. And the finest crystals in the world are from this deposit in Malawi. And with the deposit, you have two types of really fine feldspars that form with it, and also a radioactive mineral called parasite. Parasite named after one of the managers of the Muzo mine, where it was first discovered, associated with emeralds in the Muzo mine, believe it or not. So it's quite fascinating, the history to parasite. So parasite can be found associated with the with these specimens. Now the other thing unique is a mineral called xenotime. Xenotime, that is real unique as well, due to its composition, which is bizarre, and we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now, if you look at this, this is really rare. And flip it upside down. Here is where you get your feldspar crystal, and you can tell what type of feldspar by this. So you have your orthoclase feldspar. So we'll get that out of the way. Now, if you see any of this agarine that might look a little bit of a darker green, it's because in general this is not black. It is a super, super dark, saturated dark green color. You can find that in some of the smaller crystals. Now, when we look at this piece, it has, you can see, microscopic xenotime and parasite crystals. Now, I'm not going to be able to show them to you as accurately as you're going to be able to find these yourself at home. And what I did do, since I have the Geiger counter, was just make sure that there wasn't anything too hot, and there's not. It is just a real low count per minute telling me that there was actually parasite and that there was xenotime. Both contain rare earth elements. This is the one I was spinning it around until I recognized what I was looking for. So I am going to give you a close-up. Now, the zircons that are found with these also are easy. They look like a pyramid, bipyramidal. Let me set that down for a minute as I clean this. And once you know kind of what it looks like, you'll be able to spot it. There's also another mineral that can be found with these, because I have one other specimen to show you. And so parasite is a very unique, it's a cobalt cerium carbonate with fluorine, so that contains rare earth elements. And xenotime is a yttrium, yeah, why? Phosphate, so that is really unique as well. It can contain uranium and thorium as additional elements. And then there is a niobophyllite, and it's a chocolate brown color tone. And it, from the word phyllite, tells you that it's kind of has a layered look. And then there's another mineral, arfvedsonite. Yep. And it is a very complicated sodium of two different valences, iron of two different valences, silicon and oxygen. So it's just a really unique type of element. So let's go right here and look right at the top. So we're going to look at that yellow crystal right there. Let me see if I can bring this in. There we go. See how that looks different? Boom, right there. You're going to be looking for crystals that look like that. And then right below it, look at that tannish, let me get that crystal right below that. Okay, those right there. That is what you're looking for the xenotime. Parasite will look like foliated mica, decomposed foliated mica. And then let's see if on this one, this is why I love it, but this is why it's fun, and this is why you have to enjoy and take the time to spot the really cool, interesting things that right there, right at the tip of my tweezers. You see that? That it could be a potential zircon crystal because you see half of it coming up. So you need to look at things like that really, really closely. Okay, so yeah, you can see how that stands out as something different and unique. Get out your book, compare these names that I mentioned, and see what you have. The arfvedsonite is ARFV, as in Victor, EDSONITE. Then zenitime, you can see up there, and then the other one is NIOBOPHYLLITE. Niobophyllite. This one specimen might give you 2 or 3 new minerals you've never had. This piece is only $168, and it is very showy. $168. Now, most of the agarine crystals don't have an etched termination. So termination of them is rare and unique when you see that. So that one actually has a decent termination, but most of them you're going to see like that. It's not that they're broken, it's just that they have been etched through the process and formation. You can see that the cluster of agarine formed, and then the feldspar grew around all of that. I think that is just as cool as can be. Now, let me show you. I have item 1241, 325. 1241, 325. And this is going to be the alternative choice you have. So let me put this one next to that one. This is certainly a specimen that is world class when you see it. Look at this. Look at this. And that is a beauty. Let me put my hand behind it so you can actually see them a little better. Maybe I'll raise this up. And let me see if removing this and putting it directly on the mirror, because actually it allows them to, look at that, self-display. You know how much I like that. Let me adjust this for a moment, and let's see if we can get you a better look. Okay, look at these. Look at these two beauties. So the one on the left I'm going to remove in a minute just so you can see for comparison-wise. That one was the one for $168. Now, the one on the right, you can certainly see why it hits the world-class designation. Look at the length and size of that agarine crystal. Then the additional growth of the crystals up the side. And let me move that. Then look at how well formed the albite crystals of feldspar are here. This has the arfvedsonite. Yep, it sure does. And it has a zircon. Now, I wish we could, I wish you were sitting in front of me, and I wish we could pass this around, and for, everyone gets, let's say, 1 minute, 2 minutes to find a particular mineral or a particular other crystal in the piece, and see how well anyone does with coming up with finding it. And there are some things that are easy to spot and some things that are not so easy. And so when it comes to something like arfvedsonite, that can be difficult because it is another black amphibole and can look very similar to the others. But that's how you learn. That's how you learn. And the length, look at the length of that. That is a really showy piece. And so let me see if I can give you an idea of what something else looks like. So the niobophyllite, which is a chocolate brown color, you can find those on any of those. I didn't list them. It belongs to the astrophyllite group. So if that gives you, if you know what astrophyllite looks like, that'll give you some help in identifying it when you know what astrophyllite looks, which has the radial type formations, and this can have them as well. And it can also look like a brownish areas. Let me just show you on the crystals like this one had, and that's why. Okay, so you see like the brownish areas on that. So let me just show you real quickly here, if I can give an idea, because other than that, you'll never. So here is niobophyllite, and as we just, oops, here we go. Here we go, perfect. You see those brownish areas on those crystals? Let me just turn that. There we go, perfect. That's all you need is a quick look. There we go, that's on top of the agarine. And you can see that that is existing on some of these. So it can be something that you would have never recognized, or something you might have tried to clean off, and it not be something maybe that you wanted to clean off. And that's why it's better to know what you're looking at and what you're doing before you you do that, and become familiar with the other oddities when you're talking about something like this. When you have xenotime and arfvedsonite, I mean, come on. Now, that said, let me do one other thing here and see if I can't show you something that if we can look close in enough, because the arfvedsonite looks so much like the agarine that it would be easy to mix the two up. And so it's just going to come down to you practicing and noticing. Just like the different feldspars, you have to look at the crystal form and to figure those out. So this has a zircon, and if I didn't show you, this would be one that I would love to pass around until someone found the zircon. I think this is this the one with the zircon? Or maybe, look at all these other little, see these crystals? Look at how delicate and how they bridge in between other crystals. And so what I did, like, here we go. See these brown crystals right here? That is your arfvedsonite. Well, it can be that color. It can also be into the black colors as well. But your niobophyllite can look similar as well. So then you have, look at these greenish crystals, and they are not agarine. So do your homework and separate the tan crystals from the greenish crystals, and look at the stunning formation with, as we look at the end here, the etching, and then the additional crystal growth from that. It's things, little things like that that you may not notice that can make a huge difference in the salability, the overall value, and the aesthetics of a piece. This has it all really going for it. And I'm offering this one in a world-class item for an outstanding opportunity. Let's see, yeah, $12.40. So making that one only $198. $198 on that. And that is an excellent bargain, because it is where the best in the world comes from for this material. And there is so little of it. Okay, so here's what I want to show you. Because you just have to look at these really closely. This is the one that also has a zircon that I want to show you. And it is this is how difficult it can be to actually locate them and point them out to you so that you know just how hard it is to find them as well. And I need to, because it was, when I saw this, I was thrilled to find it. Let me look in here. It is a little tiny, you can see the pyramid of it pointing up, and it is back. Look at all these little crystals. Look at all these. Look at this. This is why, with magnification, I mean, what fun. Oh, yeah, this one. Is this the one? I don't even see it on there that has, here, look at the quartz crystals. This is the one I want to point out. And the neat thing about the Malawi quartz is they have a smoky color right at the termination, at the tip of them. And you can see that. So there's a quartz crystal. Until you start noticing them, you don't even see them. Let me show you. This is amazing just how many beautiful quartz. Look at that. See that one right back in there? Look at let me get my other light. Right, there we go. Right there. And you can, if I turn this, there we go. You can see the smoky color right at the termination of it. And we didn't even notice those until you start looking for them. And there is several quartz crystals scattered throughout, and they're smoky quartz, and smoky just in the very termination, the very tip of the specimen. And I think that is a really unique type of way it formed. Oh, here we go. There's another one. Look at that quartz crystal right there. There's another one right below it. And you wouldn't have even have thought they were there. There's actually, there's a large one. This one actually has inclusions, I think, of agarine within it. So I'm going to leave the rest to all of you to enjoy. And this self-displays beautifully on its own, as you saw, which is, look at that, just stunning. So 2 great opportunities. All right, let me take a moment to put those up safely. I'll be right back. In that 1-minute break, I found what I was looking for so that I could describe to you better. And that is a greenish color that you see reflected. There it is. You see it reflected out of portions of this crystal. That is the arfredsenite. And what it does, you can see up here in the etching, not only did the crystal become etched, but then what happens with these particular crystals, you can see additional crystal growth in them. You can see the faces right there. And with time, what arfredsenite can do, or does, is it actually will pseudomorph. It will replace that agarine crystal. So let me go back to this other one and show you a good example right here. Look at the green, and under high magnification, you can actually see little crystals coming up from the termination there. And what it's doing is it's the beginning of the process of pseudomorphing it, replacing it one at a time. There is also, I saw little tiny zircons on this one, and to give you an idea, let me just show you, there was a couple along the side, and there is a couple more for you to find. So at your leisure. All right, now let's get going on. I have a lot to do in a little bit of time. Let me show you item 1241, 425. 1241, 425. And let's take you, yep, 1241, 425. Take a look. Let's go to the high alpine clefts of Pakistan. Look at that. Look at that. Now, these are actually greener than what you're seeing, but I'm sure you've heard before that green is very difficult to shoot for whatever reasons, but it is. But look at how well formed these particular sphenes are. Beautiful, beautiful. See that formation? It's called alpine cleft type of formation. And these are actually formed high up in the, way high up in the mountains, way above the tree line. And you can see you have albite for the feldspar here, and then also calcite. Let's look, and then here's the clinochlor, which also goes by the name of chlorite. So this, you can see that wonderful feldspar. There's little sphenes running around on this all over the place. You have, look at these well-formed crystals right there. So this displays wonderfully, and I have it priced wonderfully for you as well. $48. Only $48. That is a stunning specimen, and like I said, it's more green than what you're viewing it as now. Okay, now let me keep going. Let's take a look. Oh, 1241, 525. 1241, 525. So, as Miss Barbara called them long ago, they were the fabulous four, or the four different specimens I got from high up in, well, I didn't get them, but my Pakistani dealer. These all came from high up in the mountains of Pakistan. And I had gotten sphene, I got pink apatite, I got red zircon, and I got triplite. This is the zircon, and this is one of the personal specimens I was saving for myself. It is one of the most stunning, intense reds I have seen come out of there. You have the black biotite mica. You also have many other assorted minerals if you want to try to figure all of them out. Here's the cool thing. What you see on the outside is only a partial reflection of what's on the inside. There could be a humongous, perfectly formed zircon crystal. You just don't know. Now, you can see where someone has etched back this somewhat to see what this was. Now, with more effort, you could reveal more of what the crystal is. What I like to, look at this one. What is behind, what's the rest of it look like? If you want, you can, so to speak, with a Dremel, peel back that material ever so slowly and reveal it. Here, this is the joy to behold. And boy, is it a color not commonly seen. So if you look at this, look at the size of it. And if you remember the way zircon forms, it has two pyramids. There'll be a pyramid on this end. There could be sometimes pyramid to pyramid, or there's a certain amount of distance down the C-axis in between. So this one has a pyramid that starts forming here and has the pyramid where it starts coming to the four-sided point here. And if you peel back, or I say here, but it could be back into here, quite large. You can see it starts angling back right there. So that wouldn't be much trouble to expose that particular tip. Now, let me just look inside this crystal and see what kind of color we're dealing with. And oh, look at that. I have not seen a Pakistani zircon be that red. That is why I had kept this one as a personal specimen. That is a very valuable red and a very rare color red. Most of the time you get orange. You get orange red. But tell you what, shortwave fluorescence. You want them yellow? Shortwave fluorescence. Those will turn an amazing yellow. It is one of the funnest things to look at. Plus, you can find all the other little tiny zircons using fluorescence. Like there's another one, there's one, and there's one. See that little tiny speck? There's one. So there's more. Have fun with this one. I priced it so that you could, because it's only $88. Only $88. A crazy opportunity. So many things. How about this? Item number 1241-625. 1241-625. Take a look. Now, this one I actually gave the label of rubellite too, because there was actually some of these crystals that were very, very red and very rubellite looking in person, more so than more of the pink that you're seeing now. But either way, pink, rubellite, whatever you want to call this is almost nothing but crystal, nothing but crystals of tourmaline with very little quartz in between. My thought was, imagine taking a diamond saw, you can see a larger crystal, down through the middle of this, or if you could get a slice of it, you would get all these would be parallel to each other in a slice with very little quartz in between. I think it would hold together. I think it would be dynamic. If no one buys it, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Or think about this, just tumbling the whole thing. Or just leave it like it is. How's that? Here's some of the back coloring to it. So you can see, look at how translucent the entire piece is. Light passing through, so much of it. Anyway, I have it priced so that you can enjoy it easily because it's $38. Only $38. Now, let me show you this one. Important. We have to always get item, let's see, 11/9/2024. 11/9/2024. Take a look. Now, this, we got to get a zeolite in. We haven't done a zeolite in a while. This is, though, an unusual zeolite because it's bicolor. You have, look at this, you have white and you have the cream color. Look at that, one going on top of the other. And it's often difficult to tell the difference between a heulandite and a stilbite, but there are ways that you can tell. Now, morganite is this white background that you see, all this white background, and if you actually under high magnification, it's actually like a druzy crystallized background. Okay, so morganite you see here. The heulandite will often have, instead of coming to a point, will often have a flat termination that you see right there. They also form radial sprays that can look like a saddle, and they call them saddle shape. I've offered and sold those shapes before. And by a radial spray, I mean like you see this. You see it sprays out radially as a crystal. Here's another one right there. That's a perfect example of a radial, let's see if we get the light on there, a radial spray to the crystal. And then, of course, that formation, you can see just how white that is and how pearlescent the surface is. Really, really pretty piece. And the bicolor nature to it. So that is your, this is rare. The bicolor is quite rare. And I am offering this one on sale. That specimen is going to be only $48. $48 and a excellent value in a unique, look at that bicolor part. Try to find another one of those. Again, and it's not stilbite. It is heulandite. Big difference there. Now, let me show you another one of a classic item, 1241-125. 1241-125. Check this out. Oh yeah, this is the stuff you've been looking for. Look at that. Look at that. Now, this is from the Wenshan mine in China. Now, minerals can't help where they were formed. So, as far as the geographics of it, just throw that away in your mind. What you want is a minerals location is what's important. Politics aside, that doesn't matter. You get a specimen like this. They have not had hemimorphites that look this color since the Spanish material came out. And this is the good stuff. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. And with all those varying vugs and pockets producing crystals, this is a stunning specimen and not dyed. Watch out for some specimens that are more of the clear crystallized elongated hemimorphites that I've offered here before. They are able to dye those a blue and sell them into the market. A lot of people don't realize that. So they're if you see them offered from Mexico. Stay away. This is what the blue needs to look like if it is a hemimorphite. And with that little crystallized surface, you can see the radial formation right there, the edge of how it looks like. And you can see it along the edge here as well. Look at that, is stunning. And I have this at a fraction of what this would sell for in a market. And you know, something is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. In an auction, you would not believe how much these items go for. Oh, let me see. I was playing with this, and I think it did something cool. There it is. There it is. It stands on its own. You know how much I like that, without even a solid, flat surface. And wow, look at that. Very, very attractive. $98. $98. That should be twice that, and would be a good value at twice that. Now, let me show you something rare. Item number 1240, 820. Let's see. 1240, 825. 1240, 825. And boy, I had to take a second look at this. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh, look at that. That's a fluorite. And then I thought, no, that is not a fluorite. It did not fluoresce. And but for other reasons, it was, look at this, okay? So they call that a radial aggregate. Look at this color. This color is very much in demand for Namibian prehnite. This is from the Brandberg area. The Brandberg area where the famous quartz crystals come from. And look at that. Look at that formation. These are rare. This is gem quality prehnite. So think about when you see prehnite and you've seen it faceted, you've seen it capped, you've seen it used in fine jewelry. This is what you have to start with something of this high of quality. But you would never do that on a crystal piece like this. Now, see how they count. See how many, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, there's at least 6 different radio aggregates to this one piece. And that's what they said. They said to backlight it. Boom. I see why. I see why that suggestion would be an impressive one. That is some amazing color and doing exactly what it said it would do. And okay, so have so much else to show you. This one I have, the only one I have, and it is, again, a fraction. And you know what I mean when I say a fraction of what it would be. Go and look if you can even find anything like this. This is only $148. $148. Wow. Now, I am going to show you another mind blower. This is going to be a birthday special I am offering for January. Take a look. Take a look. Did I give you the item number? It is item 1241, 825. This is amazing. Oh, yes. Look at that. Look at that specimen. And this is your, of course, from the Shawn spessartine mine. World famous, has the finest spessartines as far as crystal in matrix there is in the world, to me. And, you know, they're often found with smoky quartz, but what makes this, and you see, I love that it sits up on its own, super uber unique, is it proves that these are actually found with 2 types of feldspar, and they are both in the same specimen. Okay, I'll show you, point that out in a minute. But look at these. Look at these. All of these are gem quality dodecahedrons, almost aesthetically placed there, so perfectly distributed. Now, let me show you. Microcline and albite. Both feldspars on this piece, which makes it very unique. And that is something you just do not see often. Let me drop this behind it so we can better show you the two. Okay, now, albite is always going to be the whiter feldspar, so it makes it really easy. So if you look at these, see all these white crystals, the white ones? Those are the albites. The cream colored, those are the microclines. And look at the surface reflection on all of them that you get. Look at that, because they all have a sense of, look at that, adulorescence. Oh, look at that. Look at that crystal growth on top of a crystal face. These, when I was doing some research, are very desirable when you find the striations on the crystal faces, when you have that multiple growth, generational growth like that. Look at how clean this specimen is overall. I mean, clean. It is just beautiful, beautiful albites. There's something kind of special right there. That looks like a little muscovite, little muscovite mica crystal slipping in there. Look at these gems. Look at these. And then the back is, you can see the two different feldspars there too. This is very, if it was prepared, specimen prepared, they did a very natural job to it, and it looks wonderful. I wanted it to stand up like this. I thought it did. It would only take a little bit of goop to do it yourself. We had it standing up on its own. Wow. Well, I wouldn't think it was going to stand that way, but I'll take it any way I can. How cool is that? How cool is that? Okay, price on this one. These, again, are just no more, $198. Very few in the marketplace. Only what people like me are deciding to let them turn them loose. That is, look at that in my hand. That is a exceptionally aesthetically beautiful specimen for a fraction of what that would sell for in an auction. Just a fraction. People in an auction would bid that up, I can see, in the $500 and $600 range, no doubt. Now let me show you. I have a jewel. It is item 11-11-623. 11-11-623. I had been back and forth on this about deciding whether to sell it or not. And I guess I'm at the point where I'm going to offer it for sale. This is a lifetime collection of black opal trimmings that I have collected over 50 years of cutting. Look at this. This is an entire jar. There's water in the jar. And as you can see, and as we just come in close anywhere you want on this, and I don't think there's a piece of opal in there that doesn't have outstanding fire and color. And you can see the black opal or the dark nature to the opal on all of these. This is an amazing, look at the reds, amazing collection of leftover cutting pieces that I saved that took 50. Yeah. 50 years of collecting and cutting. 50 years of cutting, and it comes all the way to the top. 8 ounces. 8 ounces. These can be done, well, I think they're beautiful just in the jar, but you can use them for the micro doublets, the mosaic doublets. You can use them for the Zen gardens I had talked about doing. There is so many, I need to change the water out for one, would make them look pretty, but there's so many uses. But you know what? They're just beautiful like they are. I'm offering this entire jar, a lifetime, and I really, I don't have another lifetime left to give to have any more than that. But I also am out of time to do things I wanted to do with them. So I'm going to pass these on to another generation. 8 ounces, that is, roughly 144 carats to an ounce, 1,200, 1,200 carats. So, you figure that way, it's not going to be a lot of money. And it's kind of ridiculous for me to even a mosaic manufacturer would find trouble getting this many pieces. So anyway, I'm offering that entire jar for only $348. $348, and it's irreplaceable. It truly is irreplaceable. Okay, now, let me get to I have item number 123824. 123824. Another special because it is January and it is my birthstone and therefore garnet galore. Look at that. Look at that. Now that is a Madagascan demantoid garnet with quartz. It's a rare collector specimen. This was mined in '09. I know exactly when, and look at how well defined that demantoid crystal is. Now, these are a lot prettier green than what you're seeing. Green is, again, is always difficult to shoot. Look at that. Look at that. Now, they say demantoid because it's diamond-like. And the word adamas and the word adamantine is a word they use for luster, for diamond. And it is a particular feel, a particular luster to the surface. And these have that luster. These have that type of reflection on the surface that gives you a adamantine or diamond-like look. I'll wipe off some of that grease off these. But look at how beautiful, and not a nick on that crystal. Here's another beautiful one. This is, they can no longer, this was being mined at the tidal line of a mangrove swamp. And so they would dig out the holes every morning, and when the tide come in, it would fill in the holes. They'd have to dig them back out and over. And finally, it became where they dug too deep, and it wasn't even able to mine the material anymore. So no more on Madagascan demantoid. Price on this, I am going to sale price this, being that it is a January special. If you saw this at a higher price, I can understand, but I don't know what price you might have seen it at. I tell you what, I'm just going to make sure that it's less than I've ever shown it before, and I'm going to make that baby only $248. $248. That is an exceptional opportunity. Look at the size of that crystal. Look at the size. That is an exceptional specimen. Okay, now, let me keep going here because I have, okay, a lot of things that I had intended to show you and never did get to them, but let me, oh yes, this one, item number 1231-124. 1231-124. We won't get to them today, but I have those incredible petrified wood pieces behind me and that Diamond Hill piece that I have, the mineralogical record to go with it. But we'll have to catch that another show. Here, since now you know all about this material, now I can show you what a world-class museum quality one of these look like. Look at that. Look at that. Here is the Sumed mine is closed. This is etched Namibian dioptase. So we've talked about dioptase. You're familiar with dioptase. Remember, it's the copper silicate. And this is a large piece. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of the crystals, and then look at the bonus malachite formation. Look at that, how attractive that is. Now, here is what is unique. This has been etched, just like you see other pieces. Etching isn't, look at the back of this, a bad thing. Now, this isn't where, look at all of this going on. I have not investigated all this, but you have crystals of dioptase, it looks like covered by malachite, because I can see the form, and then, oh my. Okay, so you have, look at this. Okay, you see this? It looks like styrofoam. Look at that etching. I'm sure you've never seen etching like that before in dioptase. I have not. That makes it super unique. Look at that. And look at this material. Look for a minute like chrysocolla, but that is just dioptase, more of the dioptase. look at the size of those crystals as we look along the edge of this and the back. This is remarkable. I am sure there are other minerals associated here that it's just going to take someone taking some time. And look at, there's probably duftite. So we know duftite and Sumed mine are associated because we already saw that in the other specimen. And I'm sure there's other minerals as well. And Chuck doing a great job keeping up with keeping this in focus. Look at the size. Look at the size of some of these. That is what makes it really rare and really special, is dioptase crystals often are not found as large as what you're seeing here. You can also take a little pick, just a fine little, some of the things you use, I've showed you before, for doing your teeth, and you can clean up a lot of this other material in the background. The etching is amazing. The crystallization is really unique and very, very large crystals. Look at this. Look at the size of these. These are some of the largest, I think these are the largest dioptase crystals I have ever had in a specimen. Okay. Auction at that gallery, you know, where everyone, to me, I mean, I'm sure everything that I'm sure what they're paying is the value of it. That's, you know, that's how the market is determined, what someone's willing to pay for. I wish I could get what this would sell for. This would easily probably top $1,000 in an auction. And I have no doubt. When you see this in person, it is simply phenomenal. Phenomenal. There, let me get some real, look at that. There, now you're getting some of the real greens and some of the real clarity. And then right down here, look, those, okay, I'm finding something new here because dioptase does not form in that crystal shape. And these look like they have been pseudomorph. Wow, okay, these are obvious, not dioptase. That could make this worth considerably more. And I did not notice these. You can see the etching on that one crystal etched away. Some very powerful, something geologically happened to do that, but these are unique. I mean, what would it have been? I'm not sure. That would take some research, but I tell you what, that could lead someone to finding, hitting a real jackpot, especially with this unique etching like that. Anyway, I'm not going to change the price I had on this. I have a phenomenal opportunity at only $388. $388, that's phenomenal. And I want to know all about that. If anyone gets that, let me know. That big rutile specimen, by the way, I wanted to mention, that one from Graves Mountain, that has sold to some very, very lucky client that hasn't revealed themselves, and that's fine. I congratulate them on getting that rutile. That is a museum quality piece. And in talking to the person that mined it, he said he actually was considering, because remember that one was part of, I think, the Karwoski collection, and he was wanting it back. And I told him it was too late. He said there won't be another one. Item 1227, 324, 1227, 324, and he's right, there won't be another one. So congrats to that lucky client that got that piece. Look at these. So we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about Goshenites, and here we have, let me get a little something here. Here we have some 2 Goshenite, which is clear beryl. And you can see right there, look at that. So you have Namibians, they're facet grade with siderite. Look at those little siderite cubes, which makes me, anytime I see a little cube now, I wonder about that the pseudomorph. Look at the iris in the end of that. Look at that. I had not seen that before. Look at the facet grade quality. This goshenite is really rare. That's the natural color that beryl would be, but it being allochromatic, meaning its color is influenced by outside impurities, it's seldom found in this colorless clarity like that. Look at that. 2 phenomenal specimens. Price on both I have at only $77. $77. Look at the size of that. That is a phenomenal crystal with iris as well. I'm trying to keep up with time. Time is running out on me. I only have a moment or two with you left, so I'm not going to be able to do that lesson. I have those sapphires. Let me see here. Yeah, let me show you. I have a fantastic specimen here. This is item number. This is perfect for March that's coming up. Item number 1199-124. 1199-124. March birthstone. Don't forget to give, if you for baby shower, to give the person their baby's birthstone, whether it be a faceted or cut stone, or, you know, most women know what month at least the baby's going to be born in. Have it ready to go. Maybe if it's March, you want to give them, look at this. What a great example of their birthstone in quartz. Just a fantastic representation of an aqua in nothing but just beautiful. Oh, there's another extra on the back as well. How pretty is that? That is a wonderful showpiece. So there's an aqua member of the beryl family, and there, look at how clear white that goshenite is. I mean, that is as clear and white as that quartz is. Look at those two together. That'd be pretty neat. All right, I have this specimen, offering it just as it is. Look at that. What a beautiful piece. Here we go. I'm going to discount that. I'm going to make it only $68. Only $68 for that. And let me see what I can get in here real quick that I have probably overlooked with this mess in front of me. And let me slide in one more. We're going to try to do belemnites. We'll do those next week. But and I had some Native American items I was actually going to show. We'll have to do those next week too. Let me get in one more. Okay, I tell you what I was going to do. Since Mr. Anthony missed out on that big, that amazing garnet, I am going to feature another one and sale price it for him. And here's a beauty. Here is a real beauty for you. For anybody that's interested. Item 1233-624. 1233-624. And this, and just I think one other item will be the last item of the show. Check this out. This is, so Anthony spotted, as a collector of garnets, the amazing, this is a carat 93. Oh, yep, let's see. 1233-624. And this is a faceted rainbow andradite garnet. And just shy of that 2 carat size, but look at, excuse the little fuzz on it, look at the colors in this one as well. Look at the purple, and many of these colors you're not going to really appreciate or see. Look at the end until you see it in person. Look at that purple. Look at the other, look at that sunset orange there. And the table is actually, as I see it, beautiful blues in the top. And you have that checkerboard cutting. There is the sun or sunset side. Let's see this other. Look at that. I saw it for a moment, that electric blue. Yeah, there. Look at that. Look at that. Electric blue. And then Let me see if I can. Yep. So the carat weight on this is a carat 90. Let's see. We'll give you the rest of the info right here. So a carat 93, 8.7 by 7.7, a world-class gem. I was so fortunate to get these, and I can't believe that I'm let any of them go. They have no longer mined them since 2005. So only what's available in the marketplace is what's out there. And so for me to be able to offer you guys something like this is a real jewel. That table has some exceptional colors. It's just not. Look at that blue. It's being bashful at the moment. I am going to sale price this one for only $328. $328. And then just to give you one last choice, hopefully you'll have this one also. It's $1233, $524. $1233, $524. This, I never got to show these when I had planned on it. So you're getting to see these for the first time. Check this one out. Look at all that buzz. Static electricity. That's what it is. And look at the colors again, and look at the reflection in the mirror. This one is another one that is remarkable. Look at the rainbow of colors. Let me give you the weight on that. Here is the rest of the info. So what does that say? Carat 76, world class, 8.1 by 7.6. And then look at the colors on that. Look at the colors on that table. Now, they're going to be even better in person. They're going to be much more attractive in person. And so,
yeah, in the reflection, we were getting a lot of rainbow.
Yeah. Look at all those colors on the side. And then, look at that. Look at the light on that one. See, you just have to, see that, look at that. See, that's what I said. Look at even the reflections in the mirror. It gives you a completely different angle and different look. And let me turn this one upside down and look at it that way. Look at all those colors. Anyway, so going to have to wrap up the show. I wanted to give you another chance on another one of these. And this is a really beautiful, beautiful gem. Many, many different colors at all those different facets to look at them through. It's just a joy, this material. And it is so extremely rare. And I'm offering it at so far below market on these. Okay, price on this guy, I am going to make it, I even have it priced higher than the other one, but I tell you what, we're gonna do it. How much was the other one? I'll do it for was it 388? Is that what we said? 328? Wow. Okay, make it 328. Do it the same price as the other. And that, let's see, will have to be it. Let me see if there's just one other thing right here, because it went with it. Yeah, this is the last time, because it goes with it. Item 11-780-24. 11-780-24. You should probably have this one. All right, so to go with that deal, here is 3 rough crystals. And look at these. These are huge, huge. And if you want to play around and cut your own, you can. These would be a great before and after. Look at the way look at that. Look at the way they crystallize. Also, for those of you like Anthony with a lap, or polishing lap, you can take these faces and really put a bright polish on them directly from a fasting lap and clean up any of the surface areas that you see and want to, and just helping Mother Nature out there. These are amazing. So 3 of them, that's an average of what, 4 carats each or so, which is large. Look at that. Look at every little angle. I can see that face right there is going to be a bright, yep, I could tell it was going to be a bright color. Look at that. Look at that. So I'll let you have the fun to find out, because each one of those angles can produce, look at that, a separate, look at, see the color right there? And then at this angle, it was a yellow orange. That's what I'm saying. They're just, yeah, a completely different color. How fun to have 3 more if someone wants to add to their collection, or get a before and after and a faceted and those. So all three, an amazing opportunity that I haven't done like a deal like this before, but hopefully someone will get a faceted stone to go with it and make it all worthwhile. Price only $148. That's the last item of the show. $148. We'll be back with the What Am I? What am I? One of your favorite, I guess, trivias. So for those of you that have not done this before, in lieu of trivia questions, we do a What Am I, which it's not a test or anything. It's just kind of a fun thing. You win. I usually give out a really good prize to the winner of it, and no opting out. So Miss Gabby, you participate as much as anybody, if you so desire. If you want to opt out, at least participate. So what we have, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 8 items, and whoever gets the most of them right will be the winner. If there's a tie, we'll do the same method. And as a matter of fact, let me do this. I'm going to throw in one more so that we have an odd number, so there's less likely to be a tie, if that makes any sense. Not sure, but we'll at least make it something relative to, remember, these things can be relative to today's show, another show, whatnot. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off. We're going to go from left to right. If it helps you to track them, I'm going to take a picture of this so I know just what order they are in. And so I'm going to, as we go, just pick them up and show you. So we have that. That can be the first one. Now we have this one. Mainly, I'm looking for what is the primary mineral. If you want to guess, not guess, but to answer any secondary mineralization, that's fine. But we're looking for the primary one. So that is the second one. Now, this one, you get to see the crystal shape to it, the color to it. And I know there's going to be some of you that may want to buy that one. I may offer it for sale. Then we have this one, and you can see, there we go. That's the important part. You don't have to name any matrix, of course. You just know what the primary, and the dust, I'll give you that. It's dustite. That's a freebie. All right, then here we go. This one, and let me just, as Asif said, put in the middle. All right, here we go. It's so easy for me to want to slip up and tell you what it is just because I talk too much. So what's that? So that would be like number 5. Here's number 6. Now, look at this. Look at this. I know there'd be quite a few of you out there that might be interested in that piece. So let me actually put a little more light on there. There we go. And then this one, look at that. Look at that. It's awful pretty. I'm just want to see this out of curiosity, because just see how, oh. Well, that's unique. We'll have to study on that one a little bit more. All right. And then here we have this one. Okay, so let me, if we dim the light a little bit. All right. Now, look at that shape to it. it's one of the few minerals that can actually form a crystal in kind of a curve in the way it looks. Okay, and then this one, we haven't really covered this much, but I think a lot of you should be familiar with it. It's not an uncommon mineral. We have talked about this mineral quite a bit. You just may not recognize it in its particular form. So all of these, though, you can use whatever resources you want to use, notes, or you can research them, because that's I haven't given you any other information, so you can. All right, so there you go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pieces, the most we've ever done in the What Am I? And so now it's up to all of you, and I enjoy this part too, because it's not me like giving you a test. There's no test. It's just fun. It's just fun. So remember what I found in my 50 plus years of doing this. Once people know that you're into rocks and minerals, you're going to find that a lot of other people are closet rock and mineral lovers. They'll come out with a specimen or rock or something someone gave them, or, maybe on their front porch steps like me, where people find a neat rock and just sit it somewhere because they like it to want to enjoy it. You're going to find that a lot of people are going to say, what is this? Oh, you like rocks? What is this? You're going to find yourself finding something in the creek saying, oh, what is this? And so through all this combined knowledge, you're going to be able to give answers to the best of your, not guesses, answers to the best of your ability and the best of the knowledge that you have are working with at the time. So the more knowledge, the more accurate your answers will be. And I have a feeling that a lot of you are holding a lot more answers up there, like Raven. She'll say, well, I think it's such and such. I said, well, do you think it is, or do you know it is? And then out of the sheepish little voice, she goes, well, I know it's such and such. And I said, you're correct. And almost every single time, what she thinks is actually what it is. So I told her, I said, say the answer with confidence, because you're right. You actually do know what it is. You're not thinking what it is. You know what it is. That's where I want a lot of you get to be, even if it's just about quartz. Even if you could just look at a piece of quartz and say, I know that's a piece of quartz. Then we're making headway as far as getting you to the point to where you can walk a stream bed and know what everything is you're looking at, or go to a neighbor's house who collects odd rocks and know what you're looking at. Or better yet, like Miss Cindy, goes to the yard sale that her friend has twice a year, a rock yard sale, so to speak. And bless your heart, Miss Cindy. Thank you for the probably undeserved credit, but for the credit that you give having watched this show to realize and recognize what so many items are. We start at the ground up here at Gem Shopping, moving all the way up to these items being cut and set into some of the finest, highest end pieces of jewelry you'll ever see. So watch this show, watch Gem Shopping Network, pass it on to your friends, and contact me at shawn@gems.com. Good luck with the trivia. I've enjoyed this show, as I do everyone, with all of you. Thank you so much for participating, for purchasing. For those of you that got the Rutile specimen, well done, well done. Congrats. Many of you have made some amazing purchases that you are going to treasure for a long, long time. And whenever it comes time for you to part with them, you're going to realize, wow, I got that at a good deal. So my good deal is all of you in my life in this coming year. And I'm very thankful for that. For the month of January that I was born in, for my dear father, who I was born on his birthday. And as this month is going to quickly close out, I just want to pass on and say that this birth month, this birthstone and my birth. I am grateful to my loving parents, and I am grateful that garnet is my birthstone because garnet rocks. Collect whatever suits you and feels right. You're going to love it at the end of it. Have some amazing things. So cherish Mother Earth. Don't just walk across concrete all day. Make sure you step on the grass. It's okay if you do. Cheers. See you next Monday.